Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kirkwood Support for Life 4, where we are going to have quite the show for you today. And to my right is my illustrious companion on commentary, Mr. Mustafa Khan. Now, Mustafa, we have quite the card ahead of us, do we not?
We have indeed, and we've got a few old faces and some new faces as well, I see.
Yes.
And it's going to be very, very interesting.
Well, we've had a slight change to the first match tonight. Unfortunately, I've spoken to my brother in the firing squad, JPR, and let's just say his business is more important, what he's wanting to do. So instead, we have Jacob Reed here tonight to face J-Ro Lewis. Now, the thing with Jacob Reed is he has been, well, I don't know what the right word is for it. He's been trying to find himself. He has been trying to become more, if you know what I mean. So tonight will be a great opportunity to go against a veteran like J-Ro, for him to prove himself, to prove that he can be the new Jacob Reed, a new man, so to speak.
What about he's facing, who's it, J-Ro?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you know, there's a size difference, but there's the speed and agility as well.
Oh, certainly. Have you had any matches with J-Ro in the past, Mustafa?
I think we briefly stepped into the ring, very briefly, but I don't think I've ever actually had a match with him.
Oh, right. No. What would you say would be J-Ro's advantage in this match? Because for me, I look at Jacob Reed and I see a man with power, a man with strength. I feel like J-Ro will have to use that speed advantage if he really wants to win tonight.
But one thing is, it's like, yeah, we've got the size difference, but one thing what J-Ro has, he's got heart.
Yes.
He's resilient, and it doesn't matter how many times you knock that man down, he's coming back up.
Straight back up. That's one thing. When you are making a film, which hero do you support? Do you support the big villain with the muscles, or do you support the smaller, more plucky underdog? It feels like J-Ro in this position is an underdog, but he's really going to have to knock it out of the park to beat Jacob Reed tonight.
Yeah, and I think in everyone's eyes, he's going to be seen as the underdog, but he's got a heart of a lion. You know, you can beat him down, but he's going to be coming back. And Jacob Reed, what, 6'5", 6'6"?
I believe he's the same height that Scott Hall was.
Oh.
So, if you're looking at this, it doesn't matter if you have the height of the heart of a lion. You're going against a beast of a man who can absolutely destroy him. If he gets him up for that Jacob's ladder, it's game over. J-Ro, it doesn't matter how much heart he has, he is going to be broken in half.
100%. I'll have to agree with you on that one.
Well, interestingly enough, we are now going into, after that match, an open challenge by Mr. Cliff Harrison. So I wonder where the Cliffside story will take us for tonight's events. Who will answer Cliff's open challenge? I mean, there are a lot of people, we've been backstage, there are a lot of people, hungry people, who would kill for the opportunity to have a match with someone as established as Cliff Harrison. I mean, he's been on a tear with Breaking Bone Studios, a team that has been all over Yorkshire, a team that has been all over the country, beating some of the best teams, going toe-to-toe with some of the best teams. I mean, they've even gone against you when you were tag team champion.
100%. I've faced them a couple of times, and, you know, I hate to say it, but very, very talented wrestler. Bit of a bad attitude, a bad apple, should I say, but you know what, he's got the skills to match it as well.
The man has a chip on his shoulder, but can you blame him? Cliff Harrison is a name that has almost been overlooked. When he was in the Dogs of War, it was always the star power of Jacob Reed, and then Mercer went on to win the Genesis title. I can understand why he has this chip on his shoulder, and tonight he has an opportunity to prove why he is the absolute Cliffside story. He is here to make a statement.
100%.
And there's nothing, I don't know about you, Mustafa, you've had a long, illustrious history in this business, and when you're hungry for it, not much can stop you, am I right?
That's correct. And I think that's what with Cliff. He's one hungry wrestler that wants to go out, and I think he just wants to go out and prove himself, prove to everyone else that, you know what, he's the man. He's the man here. And I think, you know, let's see who challenges him. Let's see who comes out.
Yes, I mean, it could end up disastrously. I mean, imagine if a member of the firing squad came out. I mean, he would certainly not be able to overcome that challenge, but the other people, I'm sure. And then, well, I think the match coming after will certainly be a very entertaining one for the crowd. We have Maverick Matt Williams. Have you had any interactions with Mr. Matt Williams?
I don't think I have.
Me neither. Well, it seems the Maverick is a bit of an enigma in this match because I've heard about him. He has a great reputation, and he's a man who flies high in that ring. And speaking of flying high, he's going against Evan Knight, a man who is so talented in that ring. He's almost like a gymnast, the way that he's able to fly across that ring with precision strikes. All it takes is one Knight's blessing for him to win the match. And I know you and him are not on the best terms, seeing as what happened, but you've got to respect his ability.
Yeah, well, you know me. If I see a wrestler that's talented and gifted, and again, Evan Knight, I hate to say it, very gifted, very talented, and he's very, very young as well. So he's just going to improve within time. Future champion. Heavyweight champion in my eyes.
Wow, yes, well, I can certainly see that. The fact that he hasn't reached his full potential is mad. When you see him in that ring contending with some of the biggest names, like the third member of this match, Joe Sedgwick. A man who, we're talking about someone who's improved quickly. Joe Sedgwick has taken the world by storm. He's a man that I've had several bouts with, and I must say he's one of my favourite opponents in that ring. He is someone who can fight with you. You were talking about heart for J-Ro. If we're talking about heart, there is no one back there that has more heart than Joe Sedgwick, a man who went to war with Paul Hubris, a man who has gone to war with some of the best. I'm sure he's had a few wars with you, has he?
I think we faced off once, but I did at one point. He did join the Persian Empire when I was a leader, but look how much he's improved, excelled. Takes after his father. In my eyes, that's how I see it. He takes after his father. Gifted, talented, and again, a very young gentleman who's going to go very, very far in this business.
So, I must ask you, Mustafa, who do you have to win this triple threat match tonight?
I'm going to be a bit biased because, John and I are like brothers, and Joe, like my nephew, I'm going to have to go with Joe.
Whilst I respect what you are saying, Mustafa Khan, I must say, Evan Knight is a man who will pull any trick out of the book, and I respect that. I respect a man who will use any resource at his disposal to prove to the world that he is the champion, he is the dominant one. And I think this Maverick Matt Williams will certainly be a spanner in the works because we don't know what to expect. To my knowledge, I don't think Joe Evan has ever faced him, so he could come out there and completely flip the table, as it were, with his style. But I understand why you would go with Joe, but for me it has to be Evan Knight. And then we'll have a small interval after that, and then we go to the Battle Royal.
Wow.
Who knows who will show up in the Battle Royal?
How many have we got? Do we know how many we've got? I've
been down.
There's some that I know, there's some that I don't know.
I've been downstairs, and from my count, there is at least 10 people in this Battle Royal. Maybe 15, maybe even 20. And some people might turn up that you won't expect. That's all I'm saying. It's an opportunity, I think, this Battle Royal. There are a lot of names, and there are a lot of hungry wrestlers who are wanting to make a name for themselves. What better platform than a Battle Royal to show that you can outlast 10, 11, even 12 men, Mustafa?
100%. And that's it's called a Battle Royal because it is a battle. It's survival. And you don't know how long that is going to last for. So basically, you could go on for half an hour, who knows?
Yes, exactly, and whoever wins this can solidify their name in the history books of the Kirkwood Support Life. Following on from the Battle Royal, we've got Young Horus teaming up with the Society, Jenny Hayes and Callum Jykester. And they're going against, one of your friends, Leonie Rose, Brett Sedgwick, and the Yorkshireman. Quite the team, I must say. Because from my experience wrestling Leone, I've wrestled Brett, Sedgwick. I haven't had much of an interaction with the society, but from what I know about people like Leone, Brett and the Yorkshiremen, they are all people who have got such drive. Leone, for instance, she is bested. I mean, I won my first match with Leone Rose. I think you were commentating. Do you remember? I got in that ring, boom, straight away, finisher. I was on Dream Street at the start of that match. I don't know, but I'm not sure if the society will be able to match against Leone Rose.
I mean, one thing is with Leone Rose. When I think about Leone Rose, I think a warrior. She is a true warrior. If you look at her, you think there's nothing to her, but trust me, she's got guts, she's got heart, and she's very, very talented. She knows what she's doing in there. And then obviously you got Brett Sedgwick, say another Sedgwick, gifted, talented. And then we got the Yorkshireman, and I faced the Yorkshireman quite some time ago, and they were a good match. I really enjoyed wrestling him. But then you got three individuals, like you said, that are hungry, going out to prove themselves. But then you got the society. I've only seen them wrestle a few times, and of course you got young Horace as well. When you got that combination, anything can happen.
Well, the society, they are a team with the man who's in the main event tonight, Mr. Remus Kane. So you've got to think that Mr. Kane is going to be watching his disciples to see how they're going to perform. The pressure is on, and I'm sorry to say this, but with the society, you have a team, a coordinated team. People who've worked together before, and then if you compare that to Leone, Brett and the Yorkshiremen, they're all people who are friends and know each other, but they're not a team. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can coordinate their different styles. Like, I'll say this. The only thing that can equate to one of your chops, Mr. Khan, is Leone's kicks to the head.
Oh.
Now, those two are equatable in damage, and having Brett Sedgwick jump and land on you, I can tell you from first-hand experience, that man is called the high-flying live wire for a reason. Now, I don't know what the society have in their back pocket, but that teamwork, that mixing of styles, I think may give them an edge in this match, but don't for any second count out Leone or Brett or the Yorkshireman.
This is it, especially with those three. I've seen them get beat down again and again, but it just comes down to resilience, heart, guts, and how bad they want it.
Certainly, and then, that brings us to our main event, does it not, Mr. Khan? Mr. Wildcard Tommy Dillon versus Remus Kane. Now, I've seen Remus Kane. He's a man who is vicious. I've seen him, he's had matches, strange matches. He's had ones where there's been no ropes around the rings. I once watched it. It was him versus young Horace, who is the man who's in the society's corner tonight. There's a great bit where Mr. Horace climbed on top of one of the turnbuckles without any ropes and did a dive, balancing himself precariously on the top there with no ropes onto Mr. Remus Kane. Now, he is a man who... he gives off a violent vibe, but again, you cannot count out Mr. Tommy Dillon.
No.
He was a hardcore champion for quite a long time.
And you have got to be one tough cookie to be the hardcore champion.
You certainly do. And this is the thing about being a hardcore champion. When he went up against JPR, there were some incredible moves. He did a diving suicide spear through the middle ropes to hit JPR, and those two went to war, that's for sure. And even though JPR is my brother and he is a man who is deserving of that hardcore championship, I must say Tommy Dillon, that drive, that mean streak, might be able to match Remus Kane and his own mean streak.
Yeah, I think they're equally matched, and when you're equally matched, anything can happen. And but you got Tommy Dillon that can take a beating and then come back. Like you said, with a hardcore, like I said, if you've been a hardcore champion, you're one tough cookie. You've got to be,
Well, that brings me to another point. Will we see the society in the main event tonight? What I mean by that is, Tommy Dillon has not been everyone's best friend, really.
No.
I've had a tag team match with him, and he was quite dismissive. He wanted to forge his own path, whereas Remus Kane, he's a bit more strategic. He reminds me a bit more of us in the firing squad, where he will have his friends in his corner, he will have his team in his corner. Will this be too much for Tommy Dillon to overcome? That's the question that needs to be asked.
I think society, like you say, with what's his called? Sorry, Remus, right? Clever individual, strategy, everything's. He's going to be, I think, several steps ahead of Tommy Dillon.
Oh yes, several steps ahead, and this is the thing. When you have that advantage, it doesn't matter if Tommy Dillon out-wrestles him. It doesn't matter if Tommy Dillon has more of a sound strategy going into the match. If you're getting distracted, if the referee's being taken out of action, and you know the society are known for this level of trickery, we know that Tommy Dillon might not have a chance.
They're very cunning.
But
very cunning.
That spear can come out of anywhere.
Oh, true.
I've been on the receiving end of a few spears in my time, and I can tell you that is one move that takes you out of the action.
Game over.
I've also been given a list, I've just double-checked, of all the participants in the Battle Royale, and it seems that we have 12 competitors in the Battle Royale. So, pardon me, that means that there are 12 hungry individuals who are ready to make a name for themselves. And I can tell you, looking at some of these names, I mean, it's going to be a war. It's going to be a war.
I'm looking forward to that.
Me too. I think we have got a solid show for the people here tonight, and I think it'll be interesting to see how the balance shifts. Because in my mind as a filmmaker, I always love it when things defy expectation. And I think tonight there's going to be a few results, there's going to be a few shockers that people are not thinking about.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm looking forward to it. I'm itching. You know, today I woke up this morning, I was excited. I couldn't wait to get here. Now I'm here. I just want to get the show started. I want to get done. I'm excited. And you know, and obviously it's for a great cause as well.
Yes, this show, of course, is in support of the Kirkwood Support Foundation, people who work very, very hard to look after those who are really in need. Yeah. So to show your support tonight, if you would like to make a donation on their website, if you would like to come down and support the show in person, we'd very much appreciate it. Yeah. All of us here, we're all wrestling. It's not just about our individual wins. It's not about making a name for ourselves. Tonight is all about charity and doing something, putting some positivity out in the world. It's been a hard few years for a lot of people, like you were saying about your own personal experience, Mustafa, you know, which and you have my condolences. But it's the people at these places like Kirkwood that really make those final days meaningful, that care, because you hear so many horror stories of, especially in a lot of old people's homes, you hear about, you know, lapsing care. You hear about, you know, cruelty, and this is something that Kirkwood fights against, and something that you know, they stand for good care for these people, and I think it's very good. The people who are here tonight and they're fighting on behalf of such a cause. Yeah,
definitely. And like you said, you know, I've got my own experiences, and you know, sadly I lost my father last year, and he was in a hospice for 6 days. But the care he had was just amazing. The support that we had was just amazing from it, and the amazing people there. And you know what? If we can raise money for them, help them out, then so be it. Let's do it.
Perfect. Know? Let's do it. And not just the charity, like we've been going over this match card already, we have quite the show tonight. And, you know, again, I just keep thinking about that first match. You know, a lot of times they talk about David versus Goliath, and there are a few matches here tonight that feel very David versus Goliath-esque. Yes. Yeah. Now, Mustafa, I was going to ask about your own experience. Do you find it harder to face against a smaller opponent, or do you prefer facing someone more your size, which is more of a challenge for you personally?
I'll be honest with you, I never underestimate anyone. So I think one of the smallest people I ever wrestled, I think it was 5'2", 5'1", but I was in a battle. But then I've been up against someone that's 6'8", and it's been a breeze. You know, so never underestimate anyone, because at the end of the day, the smaller guys, speed, agility, high flying moves, this and that, and then you got the guys that are similar size to myself that are going to be powerful, just brute force. They just, and they've got big, heavy punches, kicks.
That's for sure.
But I do prefer, and I'll be honest with you, I do prefer kind of facing someone my size, my build, so we're equally matched. But like I said, the smaller guys, it's just when they're whizzing around the ring.
What can you do? What can you do in that situation? I mean, if they're taking your legs out from under you,
exactly.
I remember my very first match was against Mr. Big Duncan. If you've seen,
yes.
He is a very big man.
Very big
and
guy.
Back then, I wasn't as ring smart as I am today. Back then, I ran straight at him, expecting to get a clean hit, and down I went.
I was doing the commentary that night, and I'm not sure if I actually said that's like a fly hitting a windscreen 100 miles per hour. So, and I saw that, and even I felt your pain.
It wasn't
as one guy you don't want to be there.
I'll tell you, if anything was going to put me off from coming back in the ring, it was going up against a big opponent. But since I've been against quite a lot of larger opponents, and what I found is, well, now being part of the firing squad, I found that you've got to almost be, if you don't have the speed advantage, you need to almost be more conniving. You've got to know, it's maybe not always play by the rules, because it's easy. If you are a beast of a man like yourself, it's a lot easier to play by the rules. When you're someone who's a bit more my size, you have to fight with this rather than these sometimes.
Well, the thing is, we all know about the firing squad, and or do I, as I call them, the delusional squad? Delusional.
I don't intend. I don't get your meaning. What's delusional?
I just want to. I'd maybe like to face you one day, and I could show you what I mean by delusional. And
okay, well, just tell me when and where, and we'll make it happen. I'm no coward, and I'm happy to take anyone on at any point. And we have had a couple of matches in the past, have we not, Mr. Carl?
We have.
In fact, we've had tag matches, and I'm yet to get the better of you. But it's only a matter of time. You see us in the firing squad, we're always improving, always getting better, and you never know. The next time we have a match, the result may be different, Mr. Carl. You never know. But enough about us. Tonight is about the competitors. We have some great matches. Just to recap from the start, we have a tantalising 1 versus 1 between the giant Jacob Reed versus the jester of hearts, Mr. J. Rowe Lewis. Following which, we have Cliff Harrison's Open Challenge. We then move on to Matt Williams, Evan Knight and Joe Sedgwick in a triple threat. We then have a Battle Royal. We have the Young Horus teaming with the Society to beat Leonie Rose and Brett Sedgwick and the Yorkshireman. Who's going to win that match? I don't know. And then finally, I believe it's the final match, we have got Remus Kane versus Wildcard Tommy Dillon. But that has been Tyler Tarantino and my illustrious partner here tonight, Mustafa Khan, and we'll see you when the show commences. And